Okay, microphone working. Webcam working. Let's do this. Up to 981 views. I wonder if I should do something when I reach 1,000. Okay, so, yep, sorry everyone if I look a bit sweaty, because, I mean, probably not hot by most of the world standards, but it's very warm by British standards, so I am sweltering. Okay, let's do this. Okay, we're on the Isle of Killimer. Can't quite remember who we're going to be facing. Alright, yep. Last session we of course beat the Dissidents, aka the team of angry doggos. So then, after you prevailed against the Dissidents, despite their best attempts to stop you, there is little time for you to rest as yet. The night beckons, and the next rite reveals itself to be a vital one. It is time, reader. Come see for yourself. The coldness of the season now presents to us another chance. He heads out straight away, and you follow in turn. Hey Froy, how's it going? Indeed. Among the remaining stars, you see one with which you are now familiar now burns ever brightly. The path to freedom is laid bare before you. Well, looks like we're already headed to a freedom, right? Now this is going to be the fourth of 6 of them in total, so looks like we're very close to the end game. Great. Manly's the one whose freedom's up for grabs, so we can't lose this, because he is an arsehole, and he's probably going to ruin the plan. Pardon my French. That's good, Froy. Hope you're keeping safe, considering everything that's going on in the world. Already are the Nightwings summoned back to Mount Olodiel. Picture the right as a wheel broken free from the black wagon. It is turning uncontrollably, and soon shall reach a sudden stop. We should have several chances left for someone to go free. Either us or else our adversaries, but not both. What is at stake each time is further complicated now, I must admit, knowing we have so few opportunities remaining. That's good. Have you been doing any more baking? Those whom we've sent back into the Commonwealth, should our plan somehow fail, they may look back upon their exile with fondness. And it's apparently 50-50. So returning to the Commonwealth is not inherently a mercy, I don't think. Moreover, there are also those among us whom we count on to prevail in the rights. We need them on the Nightwings just as much as we need them in the Commonwealth. We cannot simply grow our numbers here, given the circumstances. And so, who stays, who goes? These choices affect us all. Now, I'm flattered I'm providing suitably relaxing entertainment. No pressure there, my girl. Now, I don't know about you, but I shall go and take my leave for now. Let's set forth again at daybreak. Don't get me wrong, I've been enjoying this game, but I am not going to miss doing that tree guy's voice because it is hurting my throat. Not really sure what game I'm going to be streaming after this, but obviously there's going to be a poll. To be honest, I'd quite like to stream another RPG, like maybe Paper Mario 2. But yeah, there's a poll up on my Twitter if anyone wants to look at that. And you can just sort of vote if you want to see another blind Let's Play or another replay. The Dissidents. I myself hope that form the Dissidents under the simple tenet: those who do not belong, belong. The other scribes, some of them showed at first reluctance to allow an imp, and one accursed, to designate one of the 9 Trumbites, but Mer, the horned one, stubborn as he was, stood by my side. In time they came to understand, for I remained as ever at their side, a living bit of proof of their absurdity. The Dissidents are an extension of my oddity. Those who do not adhere, they are not to be discarded, underestimated, or dismissed. They are as necessary as they are those whom against they rebel. Okay, let's see what Jodie's got to say. You approach Jodariel, who seems to be busy explaining something to Sir Gilman. Ah, my 2 favourite characters. And so, feinting left against them proves to be reliable. They all lead with their right wings when they choose to strike. They are quick, but they can leave themselves quite vulnerable. Oh, hey Xana, how's it going? Such sage counsel, madam. This knight feels most emboldened should he ever be forced to confront the High Wing remnants in single combat. Pray you never shall. Being here, I suppose it is unlikely. She notices you then. Reader, the good knight and I were just comparing survival strategies we picked up on the Blood Border, reminiscing an old times, it could be called. Indeed, the good Jodariel has volunteered to become this knight's master-at-arms, should we ever achieve our liberty together, and this knight humbly accepted. What? I said no such thing. I owe you nothing, worm. Ah, but the finest lessons are the harshest made, madam. This knight is overjoyed that you would thusly train him as your protege. Oh, cool. How old are you going to be? Or is that a secret? Reader, spare me, please. You somehow managed to steer the subject back to military tactics. This knight is most impressed with your familiarity with the finer points of being sliced into ribbons by the High Wing remnants, Master Reader. Sir Gilman and Jodariel continued the conversation for some time. You sense they are in relatively good spirits, all things considered. Love these little bits of character interactions. Ah, 23, that's a good age. Just old enough to be taken seriously, but not so old you have to be too serious, you know? As the wagon soars across the skies above Wakingwood, you notice Volfred appears lost in thought. You cannot sense straight away what he is thinking. Do not mind me, reader. It is simply that being here in this vicinity brings back a lot of memories, gives me much to ponder. I hid within these woods for many, many years, making preparations for our plan. I cast aside my raiments, and became untraceable. There I waited for the plan to germinate, so it means a lot now to be here, above that place, at last. Quite the view, wouldn't you say, my girl? Oh, hello. I feel terrible about that. Wait, is that... Oh my god, there's a horn. Okay, so we've got Emperor's Ascent and Emperor's Fall. Okay, I'm gonna give Pemmy further bonuses here. Yes, Roy, you're right. These the environmental art in here is amazing. I mean, so are the character sprites and, well, all the art in this is amazing, but they've had 3 games of already amazing art to improve, so that was a given. You make landing upon Mount Lodiel, where Wolfred pulls you aside while the others complete the post-flight inspection. He puffs at his pipe before speaking up. Reader, as you know, I now wear the raiments once again. This means that I myself may soon be worthy to regain my freedom in the eyes of the 8 scribes. Though, however, that is not my wish to go just yet. It is true that I could be of some benefit to our plan back in the Commonwealth, but I feel that my place is here, for the time being. Perhaps once the Nightwings are on sure footing in their path, my time shall come. Those are my feelings on the matter. I wanted you to know. I shall, of course, defer to you. Our path is not to contradict the reader's will. Anyway, I trust that all of us, yourself included, shall find our freedom. If not soon, then by when all of this is over. Case, seek the heart, scribe's favour. Ooh. I was beginning to wonder when you return. Return. Then who exactly do you have in mind? That fancy talking sap, you mean? I shall be interested to see if he has learnt something since we last sparred like this. Then let us bring him forth. Okay, so he's going to know what this is. Soon Wolfred appears, in heed of the summons. So it's my turn then, is it? Then let us see what we can do, my girl. The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, Sap. You answer to me here. As you will, O Sandra the Unseeing. Proper as ever, then. Though I wonder if you have the wherewithal that you project. Show me, then, what you can do without the benefit of those whom you would lead, and let us see if you and your lovely reader have reached through a thorough understanding as of yet. Thanks, Roy. Oops. Oops. Okay, now I just have to keep doing that. Okay, admittedly that was at least quite funny. Mutual kill. No, I do not want to turn on sticky keys. Stop asking. Ah. Okay, one more, I think. Ah. Nearly. Yeah, that's it. Eep. Ouch. Come on, teleport faster. Gotcha. I'm grateful for the privilege of your time, good Sandra. Flattery shall never get you anywhere with me, sap. Nonetheless, your performance was sufficient and you passed my test. Thus, congratulations are in order to you and to your lovely reader. Now farewell. I had not seen Sandra in some time. She has not changed a bit. but it would seem she left something for us, did she? You received Lou's Bow for completing Volfrid's trial. Rank 10 Legendary Talisman. Volfrid's Blink ability transfers him further than usual, plus 50%. Nice. His sisters, brothers, fathers and mothers are all part of him, until the Arch split them in twain. Looks like kind of a magical girl staff, doesn't it? Basically the reader sort of controls, well, directs everyone from a sort of ethereal space. And obviously because they're not playing, they can't actually level up or be liberated. Okay. Seek the Harp Scribe's favour. Having completed the post-flight inspection, you and Pamitha visit the monument of Triesta Tethys here in Emperor's Ascent. I have to hand it to you, Pamitha. You have a real gift for getting yourself into one bad situation after another. Now here you are praying to the dead to bring the stars back. Is that it? Maybe you'll get out of here this time. Things might be even worse back home. Soon she has finished paying her respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Triesta Tethys has shown you favour. You shall soon ascend the mountain, though there is time now to pursue your vocations. Pamitha gained +1 quickness. Okay. You excuse yourself from the others to go pore over the Book of Rites and its mysteries. Through greater understanding comes the reader's influence. You extract a deeper meaning from the words and teachings of the Book of Rites, one you feel in your core, yet struggle to articulate. Inspiration comes to you in a flash, whether from the book or from within, you can't tell. Okay. Tizo or Jordario? En route to the mountaintop, you pass by the monuments to Under King Ores, and Jordario happens to take notice. You scribes are quite predictable, yet those were naive to think that opportunities at freedom were indefinite. So now we have to make the most of every chance. Is that not so? I fail to see how that is any different than before. Soon she has finished paying her respects. As you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that Under King Ores has shown her favour. Jordario gained +3 glory for the next rite. Nice. Okay, here's the music. Let's do this. You and your fellow exiles gather at the foot of the Scribe's Gate, before an archway carved of stone where stands the Gate Guardian. Greetings to your Celeste. I see the
exiles of the Nightwing have returned, even as the cycle of the rites begins drawing to a close. The Nightwings accept this as the will of the scribes. The Gate Guardian laughs at this, softly for some reason. And you, Tarek, do you accept their will as well? But the lone minstrel does not answer her. It is no matter now, Nightwings. Each of you come forth and state what it is that you seek while crossing the Scribe's Gate. One by one the Nightwings declare themselves. You all pass through as before. When Volfred takes his turn, Celeste stops him. You, I see you wear the raiments once again. Explain.
The cycle of the rites is ending. While I do not know exactly why, I have my fears. One of my contemporary, he who fell from the summit long ago, he lives and seeks his liberty again. He stands against us now and believes his triumphant to be the true Nightwings.
I remember well the contemporary who you mean. Then the Nightwings stand divided.
Yes, and so I wear the raiments once again, in case that it may be to help right this wrong. For I am Volfred Sandalwood, and I seek liberty for each of us, so that one day we might stand shoulder to shoulder on the other side, and bring our freedom to the people there.
She considers Volfred's words for a moment. I see. Then move along. The guardian of the Scribe's Gate regards you all, and then she beckons you onward. The eight scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Celeste? What is it, Tarek? The will of the scribes. Long have we followed it. I think that would you agree. In equal measure has it drawn us close as separators. Sorry, I stuttered a bit there. But if their aim now is to keep us apart for another age or longer, then no, I do not accept their will. You blaspheme, Tarek, and at the gate no less. But the lone minstrel simply puts his hat back on. Then may the scribes themselves admonish me. Until tomorrow night, Celeste. Wonder what happens between those two. Oh, hey, Amanda. And thanks. How are things going with you? Oh, thanks. I was trying to give both those characters a Welsh accent. Having reached the peak of Mount Lodiel again, you see a vastness of the downside all around you. It leaves you deep in thought regarding which of your companions ought to go through this night, as Ruki did last time. Volfred looks up as you approach and smiles.
I never thought that I would say such things, my girl, but it is good to wear the raiments in the rites once more. The march of time has a way of healing certain hurts.
Ah, that's good. I think your partner's headed off somewhere for a while.
Besides, the Nightwings for today, we are a very different beast than the Triumvirate, which took me in almost a decade ago. Ours was a Triumvirate of exactly 3, well 4 with Tizo, who proved to be an exception. Though historically the Nightwings never took on more exiles than needed.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've been doing my practice. Yeah, I've just been sort of practicing switching from a tight to a loose, more breathy voice, so that seems to have improved quite a bit.
I have mentioned my predecessor, Brighton, and my former companions, Arisa and Orelek. Perhaps naively, I had hoped my time with them would not be relevant directly to what we now attempt. But seeing as our stories are now intertwined, do let me know if there is more you wish to learn of them.
Volfred invites you to inquire about the former Nightwings. Ask about Brighton. Thus far you've only heard passing reference to Volfred's predecessor on the Nightwings. Yeah, tightness really hurts my throat, so thinking about it, which of course means Volfred's voice is a bit of a strain, but hey, it's good practice. You inquire about Brighton, who you understand was liberated prior to when Volfred first joined the Nightwings.
I never met Brighton in person, but I know him rather well by now. Though, for that matter, my girl, so do you.
He studies your reaction for a moment, and then?
Brighton was born wealthy, but not special otherwise. You'd have no reason to have heard of him. He was exiled for negligent misconduct. I do not know exactly why, and I do not care for spreading rumours. I first heard of him through Eris and Orelek, who found me in me a suitable replacement following his liberation. They spoke little of him. Orelek gave the impression they did not see eye to eye, but he assured me I would soon hear from him myself. Indeed, as I became accustomed to the book, which you now know well by now, I soon began to hear the voice.
Ah. Volfred looks at you as if to see if you yet take his meaning.
You see, my girl, after Brighton's liberation, he assumed a new identity within the Commonwealth, and a new responsibility to the Triumvirate, which liberated him. That voice you hear from time to time, whensoever the stars align, it's his.
Hey AP, how's it going? And yeah, yeah, to be fair, I think Groot's uncle is basically the best way to sum him up. Has a pretty interesting backstory. Basically, he was basically the Commonwealth they keep talking about going back to. Has made reading a crime, and he was a librarian who owned a printing press, so didn't go too well for him.
He is no longer Brighton. He is now none other than Archjustice Androblees IX himself. Liberated exiles retain certain burdens to their old triumvirates. They have had much to thank them for, not just their freedom, but their exalted status in the Commonwealth. The theocratic rulers of the Commonwealth, they do not wear masks and raiment simply for the sake of ceremony. They are not who they appear to be. Their public past is nothing but a fabrication. Like Brighton, they were once exiles too. Brighton, that voice, he has no love for either one of us by now. He knows full well what we attempt to do, yet he is bound by the traditions of the rites.
So how things with you, AP?
He shall always stand on ceremony and complain, but I think he knows deep down that he is powerless.
So I guess he basically returned home to become a Twitch commentator.
How ironic that one of such high status in the Commonwealth should be so frightened of some long-forgotten exiles such as we. Anyway, that's Brighton for you. He must have seen in you the potential to be one of his staunch supporters for a time. If that's a path you want to pursue, I should apologise. Now then, whom else shall we talk about?
Okay, so that's hurting my voice quite a bit, so I'm just going to read the rest of this conversation in my normal voice. You ask about Irisa. You understood betrayed Orelek at the moment of his liberation, but then perished in the Shimmer Pool. I'm afraid you know the brunt of it, my girl, but I suppose you ought to know something of Irisa's past, lest you be too quick to judge her solely by her actions. Mind you, I would never make excuse of the terrible choice that she ultimately made, but her life, I understand, was very difficult. Irisa had been exiled of the foulest of acts. You could see it plainly branded on her face. Such was the heinousness of what she did in the eyes of the Commonwealth. She was an apprentice blacksmith in her youth, taking up the post left by her brother. Oh, that's good. Is that your last exam, or do you have more? I mean, as I say to Froy, make sure you're doing your homework. He had fallen in battle on the blood border, despite wielding their father's own lance and armour. Her father never quite recovered after this, and had grown cruel and detached. It was Arisa who took the brunt of his fury. He expected the impossible of her. One day it was all too much for her, so when next he lashed out at her, she struck back. She struck back again and again and again. When they came for her father was gone, and she was not herself. She was promptly cast downside for the crime, where her hatred for the Commonwealth only grew. Arisa was always intense in her demeanour, haunted by her father's memory. More than that, her chief motive for wanting back her freedom was, in hindsight, not a healthy one. She longed to join our nation's enemies, to build for the Highwing remnants a great siege engine that could shatter the defences of the Commonwealth, and forever end our feud. Well, that's one way to get revenge, I suppose. Yep, good luck for your exams then. I hope you're revising for them. What she ultimately did to Orelek was an act of pure and thoughtless desperation. I do not think it was simply evil, nor do I think it was personal. I often wondered, though, if in her final moments in the Shimmer Pool, she understood what she had done, and the depths to which she had fallen. For years I must admit I hated her, but now my only hope is that she found a peace untenable within her relatively short life in the Downside and the Commonwealth. Furthermore, I hope the life of Risa offers some perspective yet to those of us who have not made the same mistakes. Now then, was there something else? Okay, ask about Orelek. You ask about Orelek, what Orelek was like when he and Volfred became first acquainted. Volfred remained silent for some time. I was very sick, you know, when I first landed in the Downside. The long trip down the river must have been a little much for me. It was Orelek who found me. He could not have known of my capacity to read before he revived me. He was a physician, intolerant of the sight of suffering of any kind. Not just any physician, mind you, a gifted, highly decorated one. He served on the front. Back then my skirmishes erupted frequently, and those such as Orelek, they had to deal with many casualties on either side. In time he said he grew repulsed by what he saw. This sowed in his heart a yearning for an end to all the bloodshed. So he tried to use his status to negotiate a treaty with the Highwing remnants. It must have gone about how you'd expect. He was given direct orders to return to the front, but when he refused to soil his hands again, they cast him to the Downside. Here he gained the notice of the Nightwings, and before long, he grew to be one of the finest rites conductors anyone had ever seen. He was instrumental in the liberation of his companions, whose roles in the triumvirate were later filled by Risa and me. In time, Orelek's own opportunity for freedom had come up. He longed for it, so that with his exalted status, he might stand a better chance of negotiating peace. However, on the leaving of his liberation, well, you know the story from that point. Volfred breathes a heavy sigh. He and I were kindred spirits for a while. I could not bear to think that he was gone, and now, I cannot entirely believe that he is back. He is our adversary now, transformed, grown cold. Still, part of me is happy that he lives. Make no mistake, of course, I shall not be swayed against our plan, not by Orelek or anyone. As I have said before, we share a high calling now. As for Orelek, he wants his freedom still, though I wonder if he still remembers why. Anyway, was there something else, my girl? Okay, that's done for now. You bid Volfred a good afternoon and leave him with his memories.
My pleasure, reader. Reflecting on the past from time to time helps demonstrate how far we've come, yet much how farther we have yet to go.
Okay, let's see what's on the slug market.
Hey guys, so like, I don't know what's going on up there with all them stars acting real weird and stuff, but let me tell you something here. You ain't gonna find a better deal on all this stuff from anybody, and I mean anybody, in the downside. You can trust me when I tell you that, okay? So go ahead, stock up.
If it makes you feel any better, it hurts my throat as well. Okay, so I need 46, wait, 47 to afford this somehow. Yes. Huh. You guys really are my favourite customers, you know? Downside diseases. Ailments in the downside often give no warning when they strike. Those who keep moving and make no attempt to settle, they reduce the risks. Sorry about the SMR then. The afflictions come in multiple varieties. In the box of the flagging hands, a pallor tends to sink to the skin, and then into the mind. The nauseating sea of solace north of there is difficult for some to tolerate. Very hot or very cold environs bring their own specific side effects. My coat is not as lustrous now. My fangs are long. Like all aspects of the downside, all these ailments share a purpose, to test your body, mind and spirit. They only appear to harm. Accept them, surpass them, move on. Fair enough. Okay. So, Flame Leech. Let's just enhance that a little. Oh, at its highest rank. Fair enough. Okay, who to liberate, who to liberate? Once more you have gained the fall of Solium, while one among you may go free. But first you shall have to prevail against the chastity in the liberation rites. Reader, your companions are gathered there under the fall. They shall be counting on you.
Indeed, as the cycle of the rites turns ever faster too, is our plan set in motion. My agents in the Commonwealth are beginning to cause a bit of a stir there. Word has reached the high places that the rites are ending. This is our chance. Lowless does not despair. Should victory elude us here, we shall make the most of whatever the scribes have in store for us. That is to say, good luck, my girl. It's time.
Okay, let's do this. Here comes the voice. Now, Volfrid just said he didn't want to be liberated, so I don't think that's a particularly good idea. I mean, it would be tempting to remove the strain on my throat, but still. I know there's 2 more rites, liberation rites after this, so...
Once more, the Nightwings gain the summit of the sacred Mount Aladiel to conduct the liberation rite, even as the stars themselves abandon you. Make good upon these final opportunities, reader. This glorious age-old tradition coming to an end upon your watch. I trust the chastity your adversaries shall not throw away this chance. Choose now who may go free, should they unfortunately fail.
I don't think he likes me much. The pyre's burnt and each of the triumphants is present and prepared. I concur. The pyre's burnt and each of the triumphants is present and prepared. Then, anointed one of the chastity, come forth now and declare yourself, and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. Manly flourishes onto the ground and grasps Mac in his spindly fingers.
Warmest salutations to all. Upon this very breast eve, I am H. Manly Tinderstaff, and I must say that I am very moved to be a part of these proceedings.
Here we go. It's Donald Trump as a tree.
It shall be my humblest of privileges to return, I quite hope soon, unto the Commonwealth, where I shall dedicate myself in full towards the betterment of that society. I long to be a part of this glorious tradition, even when my freedom is rightfully restored, for it is not the case that exiles such as we are called upon to lead.
How you govern in your Commonwealth is not our business here. Your intentions shall mean nothing if you do not prevail in this right, Manly Tinderstuff.
Oh, but I meant no offence at all. I shall serve well in these rites, I promise. Why, I shall be sending many exiles here to the downside to replace me.
Wow.
I can think of quite a few who would benefit from experience this wonderful tradition for themselves.
Then Manly covers his face again.
Now as for you, Nightwings, make no attempt to undermine me here, and nothing shall befall you or your loved ones in the Commonwealth. Isn't it a deal?
Oh, he is going down. Nightwings, your decision. On whose behalf shall you conduct the liberation rite? Reader, I would ask for you to choose wisely, but I'm not sure you would know no other way. And you, prepare your song, Tarek. Of course, Celeste.
Whom do you intend to liberate?
Yeah, kind of tempted to... Yeah, why not? So, I'm about to get my shot at this then. How very thoughtful of you, reader darling.
Who shall stand with her? Jodariel.
As you will, reader. And... let's do this, Gilman.
By this night's honour, he shall fight with all his might.
It is done.
Now it begins. Do me a favour, if you please, and stand aside like a good sport here. I promise to reward you handsomely once I'm free.
Commence.
That's a good start. Ouch. Oh, come on. That was right there. Ouch.
Unfortunate. Now then. Their pyre sputters. How very fortunate.
Huh? Where is it?
Sir Gilman plunges into the fire.
Oh, what's this now? It seems to be the scribes, so enjoy our company, the entertainment we provide. They have decided to reignite our pyres. Observe!
Something stirs in the sky. If the heavens to rain and ignite your pyres, then the rite shall continue. One of the pyres is put out. Huh? Oh, come on.
Now, take it. An opportunity. scribes. A blow into the adversary's pyre. Alas.
Come on. Uh-oh.
And there it is.
Yoink.
Whom do you intend to liberate?
Okay, I think I'll choose someone other than Gilman for my backup there.
Tamatha, who shall stand with her? Joe Dariel. Bolfred.
Let us prevail on this night for you, Prometha, and for the good of our ailing nation.
Very well. Commence.
First blood. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Beneath contempt. A rather cunning trick. Another banishment. Didn't see it coming. Onward thus to greater glory. The orb. Deliverance.
Okay, and here comes the annoying extra bonus to them for some reason. Effing hacks.
All of the chastity gone.
Oops.
Now then.
No, I do not want to turn on. Sticky cap, stop that. Bye. Come on. It does indeed go quick. Okay, I've got this. Okay, Xana, thanks for coming by. Oh, come on.
You seem unable to stop these people. Yes. Kamatha has doused the flame. The Nightwing's pyre burns brighter for now. The orb
Where?
quenches the flame.
Okay, that is just hacks.
Nightwing's adversaries gained an edge. Now take it. Your pyre weakens. Fear not the purifying flame. Too bad for that one. Banished, one and all.
Oh, come on.
That ought to wake you up. Be gone. But scribes.
Okay, I can do this, I can do this.
A blow against the adversary's power.
Yes, one more should do it.
No more than a lick of flame remains. A banishment.
Oh, come on. Yes.
There it is. At last. The Nightwings proved their worth.
Made it.
Of their adversaries, the same cannot be said.
Oh, yes, that means goodbye to our favourite bird lady.
Thus ends the liberation rite.
He wears a lipstick a lot like Kira Strings, so it's a shame.
Chosen. The exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free. Absolved of all misdeeds. Return to glory in the Commonwealth. Her adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
With the trilling of the auras. Wait, this is an outrage. Have you any idea what you've done, you ingrates?
So, what am I supposed to give a speech or something then? Reader darling, all of you look. I've still no idea why you picked me. Well, I do have one, but I don't think it's right. If you wanted to get rid of me by now, you needn't have gone to such lengths. And so I'm only left to conclude you did this for me. The years I spent down here, in one sense they have been such a waste. Just for utterly nothing, spectacularly so. I thought that my relationship with Tamifa had nowhere left to go but up, but well, you know, not quite the case. But then I think on what would have become of me, had I made no attempt to set things right. Had I not done everything I have, I could have not lived with that, I think. I was so certain my life would end down here. I'm the only one now beginning to consider that the opposite may have become true instead. What I'm trying to say is, thanks. Thanks for you, to all of you. I mean that. Now I guess I'd better head back to that damn Commonwealth, so bottoms up. She plunges into the waters of the Shimmer Pool and disappears from view, though her voice still rings out. We'll have to see what we can do up there, provided my sisters haven't had their way with it just yet. Anyway, let's find a way to keep in touch, but just in case, goodbye. Pamitha earned back her freedom. May she return in glory.
Godspeed, Pamitha Thane. The 8 scribes are watching from afar. By their grace, may the cycle of the rites keep turning for as long as possible. until the rites begin anew.
I'm hemorrhaging all my best players. Okay, so that was right 4 out of 6. So that's 2 more rights and that's the end of the game. I'll keep streaming for a bit longer, I think. But as I said, obviously there's a poll just to gauge whether or not people are more interested in seeing me doing a replay of a game I played in my childhood, or going into something blind. And you can expect a poll on what game to play next to be up on Twitter by the end of the week. So yeah, feel free to mention any suggestions for what I could play in the stream, or message me on Twitter, or well, use whatever means to communicate you have, I guess. Definitely message me on Discord if we're in the same Discord at all. Anyway, let's continue. You return to the wagon after having prevailed against the chastity in the liberation rites. An important victory.
Safe travels to you, Pamitha. The rest of us await the day of our reunion on the other side.
You succeeded in liberating Pamitha. You return to the Commonwealth in glory.
We have but a few such liberation rites remaining. Exactly how many I do not wish to speculate about as yet, until such a time we can better say for certain. Under no circumstances would I suggest this is ideal. However, it is opportunity enough that our plan may as yet succeed. Although all these setbacks, I fear.
Fulfred trails off and falls silent. Some of the others exchange looks. They're beginning to understand. No, not yet. I'm gonna do a few more games. With the rites soon ending, everything which Fulfred has sought, both for his own for many years, and now of all of you, all of it may have been in vain. The hush spreads to the others, but not to you. You then proceed to do something that none of them seem to expect. You raise your voice. Don't know if you heard it, but there was a throat clearing sound just then. Each of your fellow exiles turn to you, their expressions asking you in a question with no easy answer. What are we going to do? As you meet Bertrude's gaze, the words for the occasion begin to crystallize in your mind. You are searching to find the right words, as your fellow exiles are looking into you now. You tell them you have stood together for time after time throughout this quest, and now poised to seize a glorious opportunity. You tell them you have... Oh, I get it. So I can cycle through some different words. You tell them we're not going to mince words with anyone here. Struggle to come this far. Time to time. Yeah, I like this one. You tell them that you all have stood together time after time throughout this quest, and think only a hollow fool would turn back now. Your path to freedom is still laid bare before you all. True freedom is not waiting. Oh. None of you pursue this quest with any guarantees. It is a quest you all knew was unlikely to end well. The Commonwealth is already in upheaval, but something is more... There you have it. The Commonwealth is already in upheaval. Its troubles are only beginning. The injustices committed on the other side cannot continue. You'll stand poised to ensure the worlds you leave behind for your loved ones, for each other, is a world worthy of homecoming. I absolutely love this story beat, where you can just sort of choose your own glorious speech. When you look at it that way, which side of the world you end up on is up to all of you. You need but see your journey to its end. After what a brief period of reflection, you share one last sentiment with the group. We shall reunite someday among the stars. Then you join the others in silence. Thus do you remain together with your thoughts. No one speaks for a time, but then... I love Sir Gilman.
The struggles you describe, Master Reader, has been glorious indeed. Wherever you shall lead, this knight shall follow without stopping once even to think. How would dare to change this ancient world, Reader One? Yet thy words are tinged with certain truths.
Tiso vows to stand with you no matter where your quest shall lead. May long the stars remain a light for you, Reader Madam. All the while, Volfred remains watching you intently. Then his expression softens and he smiles.
You're right, of course, my girl. We are the Nightwings. It is precisely as you said. We shall reunite someday among the stars. Lead us then, Reader, to the end of our quest, at the dawn of a new age for all our kin. Everyone, for the Nightwings.
Everyone responds in kind. They stand with you no matter what. They await the outcome of your vision of the stars, which burn with renewed fury, because now the last rites beckon. Each of the Nightwings gain +1 hope, permanently. Nice. The stars above now burn with what appears a desperate fury, many more of them than usual. Your path is yours to choose amongst a myriad of stars. The stars that he describes, they shine together now, as one. The lone minstrel draws breath, as though surprised by what he sees. He backs away and averts his eyes. This is another sign that the rites are soon to cease. Few chances yet remain to confront the adversaries you have met during your journey. Okay. Two more rites. I'm gonna go here because I like that demon dude. The stars revealed to you a path towards the Hulk of Arrears, where the rite shall soon continue. Come morning, your travels shall continue. For now, everyone needs rest. Those bearing the name the Chastity all count themselves disciples of Luscorium, the 100 Minds, known firstly for his wisdom, but also cherished for his modesty, integrity, and kinship. Sclorian's priority in forming his triumvirate was to instill in all his subjects a deep-seated deference and respect for the rules governing the liberation cycle. The cycle of the rites needs to be respected to be understood, and needs to be understood to be respected, Sclorian said. Thus, the Chastity are emissaries of the cycle. Should they earn back their liberty, then they shall spread enlightenment itself, and all of us shall grow. Okay, what's the Lone Minstrel got to say? After the liberation of Pyre, you find the Lone Minstrel back in the wagon, looking as though no such thing had just occurred this night. You think you see him tilt his head as you approach. Some words of congratulations are in order for this evening, I should think, reader, and so congratulations on prevailing in the liberation rite. Surely Pyre shall be most grateful, and her safe return into your commonwealth ought to benefit the plan in which you all now play a part. As for your adversaries, the Chastity, this must have been a bitter loss for them, and manly, although they must not have known their chance was far from certain. Thus we shall await the next turn of the cycle of the rites. Celeste and I are to return to our respective duties for the time, as now Scribe's Gate is sealed. I await when next we shall meet, when next you may live up to the glory of the Nightwings in the eyes of the 8 scribes, which yet shine down for us. He trowels off, then nods to you in his cordial manner, and bids you a good rest of the evening. Okay, let's continue. There is no time now to return to the moonlight alcove as before, as the stars already urged you on. Everyone is ready to make haste for the Hulk of Arrears. Honk. Hehehe.
You disbelieve in the rebirth of Jelch. You've defeated us, now you flaunt across the skies. Beware he who would mock the designs of the withdrawn. Thee cannot comprehend the terrors which shall come to ye in time.
Honk. The Hulk of Arrears. It has drifted here upon the sea for longer than one might expect. Perhaps you have already read of the doomed ship's demise in the embrace of the unfathomed plains. Some say it was the sea itself which preserved the ship's remains. Hidden properties within the water, sea creatures binding together ruined planks of wood. Those such as yourself and the Tempers know the truth, I gather. The stars would not align over a wreckage if it did not have greater significance than it first appears. May you have good fortune there during the coming rite. Okay, we've got Underking Path. Talisman sounds nice. You touch down in the Sea of Solace, where you first encountered Sir Gilman and the Pyre Hearts. You shall soon carry on by sea, though for now you have some time to spare. Accompany Volfrid. Volfrid requests you join his search for a buried artifact. You and Volfrid venture into the boundless waters of Ragged Rock, along a circuitous path that takes you far enough away from the Black Wagon.
My agents suggest that what we seek is somewhere very close, my girl. Perhaps you can already sense its presence.
You can. After a careful search, you procure an artifact, either discarded by one witless to its power, or left there for the sake of someone such as you. You discovered Nihiland Leech. It may yet come in useful. Effect. After banishing an adversary, the bearer has a chance to instantly recover all stamina, 30%. Though technically a fungal growth, it possesses the draining properties of its namesake. Nice. Okay. So I'll just do this right, and I think we'll call it there. Halt! Everyone, I beg you please forgive my rudeness here. The Black Wagon has shuddered to a stop en route. Oh, the Black Wagon has shuddered to a stop en route to the Hulk of Arez. There is some commotion as the lone minstrel motions for everyone to be still. Someone is there, along a path ahead. He points into the distance. However, when you scan the horizon, everything is still. You can see a nice sign of whomever the lone minstrel referred to. Still, he indicates caution. Strange. I do not believe I was mistaken. A tense moment passes, then another. Then the lone minstrel tenses up. I guessed. He is there. You look towards where he signals, and then at last you see the cause of his concern. There is no mistaking who it is. Oh, it's you. Orelek stands there, near motionless atop some forgotten rock jutting from the sprawling waters, a fair distance away. He stands directly on the path of your Black Wagon. Yet he shows no sign of acknowledging the wagon's presence. He appears only to be waiting for something, likely for you all. The lone minstrel gets your attention, quietly. Reader, what do your senses tell you this time? Orelek may have come with an intent. Orelek stands in your path. What shall you do? Press forward. You have a right to get to. Orelek may wish to stand in the way, but he can be made to move. Turn back. Confrontation outside the bounds of the rights is forbidden. Orelek ought to be avoided. Hail him. Orelek may be here to talk. If you reach out to him, perhaps you can communicate in peace. Oh, what's the worst that could happen? There has to be a way to reason with Orelek and bridge differences between him and his former triumvirate. Perhaps he has come to negotiate. Perhaps you're correct. Let us try and make contact with him, then as we proceed. You give the signal for the drive imps to start the wagon and head towards him. But just as you reach the point where Orelek once stood, it seems our guest has already departed. Let us remain watchful as we proceed on course. Indeed, Orelek is nowhere to be found now. The unnerving encounter causes everyone to fall silent for the remainder of the trip. Your wagon finally arrives at the Hulk of Arez. While still there is no sign of Orelek, or your next adversaries for that matter. Your companions organise a quick search about the premises, leaving you to watch the wagon until the rite's commencement. Guys? Can't help but wondering what happened to that number with the wings. You know the one. I guess she's kinda pretty, maybe, I suppose. Yep, he's saying what we're all thinking. She's still around by any chance? Besides, well, anyways. What's this? Okay, that's useful. Come back when you're gonna buy something. Where? Something is wrong. Someone is here. Alone. With you. Oh, hi. Aurelek seems to be examining various objects in the wagon. Whether he has noticed you, you cannot tell. What is he doing here? How he got it unnoticed, you cannot imagine. You watch him go about whatever he is doing, examining all sorts of things that you and your fellow exiles gathered on your journey. He shakes his head.
All of these trinkets. This wagon, it is most different now. Welcoming, and yet I am unwelcome here, it seems. In my own wagon.
He directs his gaze at you, acknowledging your presence for the first time.
You, a mere shadow. Tell me something. Who are you to them?
Aurelek wishes to know your connection to the Nightwings. Say you are their reader. He may as well know the truth of it. You sense no reason to mislead him. Say you are their friend. Your relationship to this band has grown to become more than just your role in the rites. Say you are no one. Who or what you are is of little consequence, certainly not to the likes of him. Say nothing. Whatever he seems to be driving at, you can think of no compelling reason to comply. Yep, honesty is the best policy. You tell him that your role among the Nightwings is as their reader. You have travelled alongside them for some time, and bear the book together with the others.
You're a fool then, reader. You let them use you willingly. Relay that to them a message for me, Shadow. Tell them, I shall have my night.
He strides right past you, towards the door, but then he turns to you again once more.
I shall have my night. I will have my night, damn it. Night.
He really wants his night. Possibly for the right to party. Then Aurelek is gone. Sea of Solace. Beyond the shallow, sickly gulf, our voyage grew increasingly foreboding and much harder to explain. How could a sea exist here, at the bottom of the world? We could not deduce whence sprang the carcasses of ancient sailing ships we found throughout the Sea of Solace, though the warnings that they are signified we duly noted. It was here that we first met Oris, called the Underking, who brazenly assaulted our small skiff, for we had trespassed in his waters. But then the Underking relented, for he witnessed Solomon Mur in all his doom and glory. Soon he would side with us. Then, with the Underking, we sailed forth into a tempest beyond reasoning or measure. The hulk of Ores. The Das Raban was one of many river ships to vanish in the downside. Though presumptions of its loss were not inaccurate, the doomed ship and her valiant crew had charted half the Sea of Solace, ere the end of their brave voyage. The sea titan Unfathomed Plurns was not fond of vessels sailing her sea, and split the doomed ship with a single swipe. The ship's own shattered prow would later end the sea titan's cruel reign, as the both as the Underking loves to recount. The stars themselves must have been moved by this. That point within the sea now sacred has the stars dancing in homage every now and then. Ooh, nice number. 8. Several of your companions return as you exit the wagon. You explain what happened. However, none of them saw Orlek. Most concerning, reader. Though I am thankful you are well. Orlek, he was always a peaceful individual, yet his disposition is much different now. Perhaps we had best inspect the wagon for any signs of tampering in light of these events. You and the others conduct an exhaustive search in and around the black wagon for any signs of objects missing or tampered with, as well as signs of damage or foul play. The search yields nothing. No one finds any sign that anything was moved or tampered with. Even the drive imp seemed calm. The incident leaves you questioning your own recollection of what happened. You try to clear your mind, for the rite is soon now to commence. Okay, let's do this. Dark is failing as the preparations for the coming rite against the Tempers are finally complete. The task took somewhat longer than usual this time on account of Jodariel's absence. She returns, joining the others in as inconspicuous manner as she can manage. She grows angry about something then, but none speaks to her of it, for the stars above ignite, drawing your attention. Across from you, Ignarius and the Tempers emerge and take position. Hey Froy, welcome back. How was AFK life? I just realised to keep looking at my phone, and obviously you're all seeing me from my camera.
Ah, the infamous Rita returns.
Hi.
Along with her remaining retinue of miscreants. You managed recently to rid yourself of yet another one. Your adversaries, the Tempers. As with you, they must be very desperate for their freedom. They shall not make it any easier from here.
Here we go again, the Night Wings. Though I gotta say, I've started looking forward to these little outings. But to say that's all that's keeping me from going anymore these days, you know. Not like I'll be out getting out of here, but doing all this right stuff helps kill some time, I guess.
Is that all this is to you then? A way to kill some time?
Curly horns. Having ways of killing time ain't nothing to scoff at. What else there is there to life but killing time? Now let's see you take that anger out on me.
Who shall besmirch the Nightwing's name?
That voice is getting salty.
Volfred.
I'm really missing Prometha.
Sir Gilman. If that is all, then.
For the glory of the Night Wings. Alright, you damn Night Wings. Let's see what you got.
Now begin.
Ah,
The path to glory eludes us all at times. An opportunity. Vanished one and all.
oops. Ouch. Ah.
Pyre sputters.
Okay.
Thoroughly banished. The orb.
Ouch.
Such a display.
Eep. This isn't going well.
How very sad for the Tempers. There. Jodariel doused the adversary's flames. How very fortunate. You'll have to do better than that. Verily. Not much of a splash that time. Well, I dare say.
Come on.
See that, Nightwings? We got a little fighters now, don't we?
Quite the close call there, no?
Uh-oh.
Pathetic.
Come on, come on.
Your Pyre cannot take much more of that.
Dodge this.
Oh. Go for it, banished. Beyond all reason, the flames yet burn. Zap. Tempers banished to the last.
Come on.
Oh my word.
I can still do this.
Banished. Banished all of them. In the name of Solium Myrrh.
Oh, that was easy.
The Nightwings prevail yet again. Alas, that their adversaries failed to stop them.
Oh, screw you too.
The ceremony is complete.
What a joke. Listen to you lot again. You owe me would have tore you to pieces. You'd never get me out of here if you keep on like this.
Oh, you don't know the half of it, do you?
Bask now in the wisdom of the scribes. Sir Gilman's not as foolish as his lowly kind's wont.
This night wonders at the times why we're here, and which forces have transpired to bring us here together. Has Underking Ores himself taken an interest in this noble quest? Okay. Right then.
I eagerly await our next such outing.
Of course you do. Back at the Black Wagon, you find the lone minstrel examining your fellow exiles after they overcame the Tempers in a solid performance. It is plain to you that none of them look well. The lone minstrel looks at you, then turns to you. Reader, the faster turning of the circle of the right has put a strain on everyone. We have multiple cases of banishment sickness this time. It is fortunate that your other companions are available to conduct the coming raids, because I fear that this group requires rest. You bid Jodariel a swift recovery, and she nods weakly in response. You exchange a look with Sir Gilman, who seems exhausted after the last rites. As for Volfred, it is clear to you he wishes to be left alone right now. Oh dear. You leave the lone minstrel to look after them, and turn your attention to the stars that remain shining in the dark outside. The stars yet shine for you, revealing various paths forward. Okay. What's the worst that could happen? No problem, Froy. I think I'm going to call the stream here. Is this night to understand that we shall soon confront Sir Deluge and the Pyre Hearts once more? Then this is to be a most exciting time. This knight's one-time commanding officer, imagine, if you will, a worm without the slightest trace of bravery. Sir Gilman then recants his tale of Sir Deluge's past, and how it is that they wound up together in the downside. Sir Deluge, a worm knight of the Sea Dominion and former ally of Sir Gilman. He lacks the sort of courage for which his kind is known, yet somehow leads the Pyre hearts anyway. Some worms born under the Sea Dominion's waters sought life's meaning on dry land. The Commonwealth recognised their chivalrous traditions and soon put them to use. And yep, thank you very much for coming by. Glad I was relaxing, and I hope to see you next stream, Froy. Have a good evening. Sir Deluge was just another bit of frontline fodder in the war against the High-Wing Revenants, yet time and time again he distinguished himself for one simple reason. He would not die. His unusual instinct for self-preservation kept him safe in many battles, and over time he was repeatedly promoted for lack of any real competition. Christ. Then, in the Battle of the Spiral Sanctum, when retreat certainly was not an option, Sir Deluge retreated anyway. This was a breaking point, and he was at last sentenced to exile. In the downside he sought water, where he made contact with Sir Gilman and other members of his own kind. They all saluted him as their superior. The other knights had little choice but to respect his rank. As the Pyre hearts, they conduct the rites in the name of their great hero, the Under King Orez, while adhering to their strict code. This knight might not have failed quite so miserably at the Battle of the Spiral Sanctum, had his entire regiment not turned in disarray after Deluge fled. Perhaps by commanding his former commander, this knight's own honour may be regained in part, for now. However, this knight must beg your leave. You say good night to Sir Gilman in turn. There is no time to make flight preparations now, though in the morning you'll press on once again. Okay, my voice is giving out, so let's call it for now. As I've said before, I've got my last shift before I have some time off work until the 15th on Wednesday. But I've got a pretty good feeling I'll have enough energy to stream then, so I hope everyone will be able to tune in on Wednesday. And I think I don't think I'll finish Wednesday, but I'll almost certainly get to the end game. So you can probably expect the end this Friday. As I said earlier in the stream, there'll be a poll up on Twitter in the coming days for deciding what games I'll be streaming next. And why it should be Paper Mario 2. So anyway, let's see who's streaming at the moment, so we can give him a good old raid. Okay, let's see. We've got Andres Yandrell playing Pulsar Lost Colony, or Kibi playing Pokemon Sword and Shield. I think Andres. Okay, let's do this. Ready in 3, 2, 1. Wait, I counted the wrong way. Oh, let's just go.
Making
And
space
you have
biscuits.
2.
Brioche.
But 2 is company, 3 is a party.
Let me make a biscuit.
Does
Unfortunately,
that make 4 an orgy?
Yep.
Yes.
I have been. I have had. Do I have that as a mod command? Maybe.